welcome you in the lecture series of Basics of Communication Engineering. It is 12th lecture of this series. In previous lecture, we have discussed about single sideband suppressed carrier SSB-SC signal generation and detection methods. Also, we have discussed advantages, disadvantages and applications of SSB system. In this lecture, I would like to discuss about vestigial sideband VSB modulation and demodulation. Also, we will discuss about AM transmitter and receiver. The outline of this lecture are time domain description of VSB signals, frequency domain description of VSB signal, generation of VSB modulated signal, detection or demodulation of VSB signal, and advantages, disadvantages, and applications of VSB signals. And in the objective of this lecture, you will able to explain what is VSB modulation and why we use it, and the generation and detection of VSB signals, and the transmitter and receiver of AM system. We know that the required bandwidth in SSB is FM and in DSB-SC it is 2FM. If we are going to use TV video signals and computer data, the spectrum of these wideband signals contains significant low frequencies which may impractical to use SSB modulation. The spectrum characteristic of wideband data benefit the use of DSB-SC, but it requires bandwidth equal to the message bandwidth, which violates the bandwidth conservation requirement. Also, in SSB, theoretically we use band pass filter to get one sideband, but practically it is not possible with the practical band pass filter, and due to this some information get lost. To overcome these problems, a technique is chosen which is a compromise between DSB-SC and SSB-SC, and this technique is known as vestigial sideband suppressed carrier VSB-SC technique, and the word vestige means a part from which the name is derived. So VSB-SC modulation is the process where a part of unwanted sideband known as vestige to be appear in the output of the SSB-SC modulation. So if we are taking the upper sideband, we will take some part of the lower sideband. This is vestigial sideband suppressed carrier. If the baseband signal is xt am cos 2 pi fmt, this is single tone baseband signal, and the carrier is AC cos 2 pi fct. Let USB or upper sideband at Fc plus Fm and its image minus Fc plus Fm be attenuated by a factor of k. Then the lower sideband frequency at Fc minus Fm and its image minus Fc minus Fm must be attenuated by a factor of 1 minus k to satisfy or to fulfill the condition for VSB. And the condition is HF plus FC plus HF minus FC is equal to 1, where FC is the carrier frequency and HF is the transfer function of the sideband shaping filter. Then the VSB signal will be K ACAM by 2. This is attenuated by factor K, the upper sideband. So it is K ACAM by 2 cos 2 pi FC plus FMT plus 1 minus K ACAM by 2 cos 2 pi FC minus FMT. This is the time domain representation of VSB signal. Here the upper sideband is attenuated by K factor K, and the lower sideband is attenuated by factor 1 minus K. Now frequency domain description of VSB signal. In VSB signal, along with the upper sideband, a part of the lower sideband is also being transmitted. In this technique, similarly, we can transmit the lower sideband along with a part of upper sideband. And VSB modulation is mostly used in television transmission. And in this figure, the frequency spectrum, you can see it assumed that the upper sideband is transmitted as it is, and the lower sideband is modified into vestigial sideband. Here Fv is the vestigial frequency. So now the transmission bandwidth of VSB SC modulated signal, it will be this is the bandwidth of this upper sideband FM, and it will include the vestigial frequency. So FM plus FV hertz, the bandwidth, the transmission bandwidth of VSB SC modulated signal, it is FM plus FV hertz, where FM is the message bandwidth and FV is the vestigial sideband bandwidth. Now, from this equation 2, we have KACAM by 2 cos 2 pi FC plus FMT plus 1 minus KACAM by 2 cos 2 pi FC minus FMT. This is VSB signal, and if I will take the Fourier transform, then I will get 1 by 4 KACAM del F minus FC plus FM plus del F plus FC plus FM, and 1 plus 1 by 4 1 minus k ACAM del F minus FC minus FM plus del F plus FC minus FM. We can also reform this equation as the linear combination of two sinusoidal DSB-SC modulated wave. So it can be written as 1 by 2 AC AM cos 2 pi FCT into cos 2 pi FMT plus 1 by 2 AC AM 1 minus 2k sin 2 pi FCT into sin 2 pi FMT. The first term in this equation is the in phase component, and the second term is the quadrature component. And here one thing is interesting: if k is 1 by 2, then you will get this equation, it will be the DSB-SC, double sideband suppressed carrier AM signal. And if I will put k 0, then this equation reduced to SSB with lower sideband. And if k is equal to 1, then it will be SSB with the upper sideband. And also if k is between 0 and 1 by 2, then this will be the VSB signal, vestige signal, or vestigial sideband AM signal. Now this is the frequency domain representation of the VSB signal. Now, and if k is between 1 by 2 to 1, then it will be the VSB signal with the version of lower sideband, and when k is between 0 to 1 by 2, it is attenuated version of USB. So in this case, when k is between 0 to 1 by 2, you will have the lower sideband and attenuated version of upper sideband, means one portion of the upper sideband and fully lower sideband. And when k is between 1 by 2 to 1, then you will use the upper sideband and is a part of the lower sideband in VSB. Now we will discuss the generation of VSB modulated signal. This is the block diagram of the VSB modulator. The modulated signal XT is applied to the product modulator, and the output of the carrier oscillator is applied to the another input of the product modulator, and the output of the product modulator X dash CT, it will be XT into CT, and this represent a double sideband suppressed modulated signal. Here we will get double sideband suppressed modulated signal. So the output at the modulator, it will be XT AC cos 2 pi FCT, and this is DSB-SC modulated signal. This DSB-SC signal is then applied to a sideband filter. Here we have used the sideband filter or VSB shaping filter. This filter is referred to as sideband shaping filter. This filter will pass the wanted sideband as it is along with a part of unwanted sideband. So the design of this filter depends on the desired spectrum of VSB modulated signal. And if HF is the transfer function of the sideband filter, then the spectrum of VSB modulated signal, it will be AC by 2x f minus fc plus x f plus fc HF. And HF, it is the Fourier transform XF, it is the Fourier transform of the baseband signal XT. Now the detection of or demodulation of VSB signal. The synchronous detector for the detection of VSB modulated signal is in this figure. The VSB modulated signal is passed through the product modulator, where it is multiplied with the local generated synchronous carrier. Means it will generate the carrier same as the carrier we have used in the transmission side. So let here if XCT this XCT is the VSB modulated signal and CT is the AC cos 2 pi FCT the carrier, then I will get the product of these two at the modulator output, and after passing through the low pass filter I will get my message signal. So here if the VSB modulated signal is 1 by 2 AC AM cos 2 pi FMT cos 2 pi FCT plus 1 by 2 AC AM 1 minus 2K sin 2 pi FCT and sin 2 pi FMT. Then here carrier is AC cos 2 pi FCT, then the perfect coherent detection gives the product signal. It will be X dash T is AC XCT cos 2 pi FCT, and XCT is the VSB signal, and it will be AC square AM by 2 cos 2 pi FMT cos square 2 pi FCT plus AC square AM by 2 1 minus 2K sin 2 pi FMT into sin 2 pi FCT into cos 2 pi FCT. And here cos square theta it is 1 by 2 1 plus cos 2 theta, and sin theta cos theta it is 1 by 2 sin 2 theta. Using these identities we can have X dash T, it will be AM AC square by 4 cos 2 pi FMT plus AM AC square by 4 cos 2 pi FMT cos 4 pi FCT plus 1 minus 2K sin 2 pi FMT sin 4 pi FCT. Here the first term in this equation is the scaled version of the message signal AM cos 2 pi FMT, and it is scaled by AC square by 4. The second term is the sinusoidal VSB signal modulated onto a carrier of frequency 2FC, and which represents the high frequency component in X dash T. The second term is removed by the low pass filter, and because the low pass filter will remove the high frequency component 2FC in the detector that has the cutoff frequency just slightly greater than the message signal FM. So the low pass filter having the frequency cutoff frequency just slightly greater than FM, then it will pass through the low pass filter, but this high frequency signal is eliminated, and at the output of the filter we will get the our scaled version of the message signal. It is AM AC square by 4 cos 2 pi FMT, and the scaled factor is AC square by 4. Now the advantages of VSB. The main advantage of VSB modulation is the reduction in the bandwidth compared to the AM and DSB-SC signal, and it is almost as efficient as SSB. Now, due to the allowance of the transmission a part of the one sideband along with the other sideband, the constraint on the filter have been released, so practically easy to design filter can be used. It has good phase characteristic, and the transmission of low frequency component is possible without any difficulty. And on the other hand, there are some disadvantages of VSB. The bandwidth is more when compared to SSB-SC signals, and demodulation is complex. And in application of VSB, we can say the most prominent and standard application of the VSB-SC is for the transmission of the television signals, because the video signal needs a large transmission bandwidth. If the transmitter using DSB full carrier or DSB suppressed carrier technique, so it is most convenient and efficient technique when bandwidth usage is considered. Now the AM transmitter and receiver. First of all, we will discuss about the AM transmitter. Any transmitter whatever may be the type of the modulation employed. The three basic processes should be there. The generating the carrier signal at the specified frequency, processing the message signal and rising its power level, modulating the carrier signal at an appropriate power level using message signal as the modulating signal. And there is an antenna present at the end of the transmitter section transmit the modulated signal. And the AM transmitters takes the audio signal as an input and delivers amplitude modulated wave to the antenna as an output to be transmitted. And the block diagram of the AM transmitter is in figure. Here the audio signal from the output of the microphone is sent to the preamplifier, which boosts the level of the modulating signal. So this will boost the level of the modulating signal, and RF oscillator generates the carrier signal and send it to the AM modulator. The power amplifier is used to increase the power level of AM signal. This signal is finally passed through the antenna to be transmitted. And here there are several classifications of the transmitter. First is on the basis of the frequency band in which they are operated, such as medium wave transmitter, short wave transmitter, VHF transmitter, high frequency transmitter. On the other hand, on the basis of service provided, such as broadcast transmitter, radio telephone transmitters, TV and radar transmitters, etc. And on the basis of modulation employed, such as AM transmitter, FM transmitter, SSB transmitters, and so on. And, uh, and also on the basis of their power, as a low power transmitter, typically less than 1 kilowatt, medium power transmitter, typically less than 5 kilowatt, and high power transmitter, typically 5 kilowatt to several hundred kilowatt. These are the several classification of the transmitter based on the frequency band, based on the services, based on the modulation, and based on the power. Now AM receiver. Here the antenna present at the beginning of the receiver section receives modulated wave. AM receiver receives AM signal and demodulates it by using the envelope detector. The requirements of AM receiver are: it should be cost effective, it should receive the corresponding modulated signal, the receiver should be able to tune and amplify the desired frequency signals, and it should have ability to reject unwanted frequency signal, and it should have ability to raise the message signal obtained by the demodulation to a power level sufficient to operate the output device like a loudspeaker. There are only two types of receivers which have any real practical and commercial significance, and these are tunable radio frequency receiver and super heterodyne receiver. Out of them, tunable radio frequency receiver is the oldest and simplest one, but it has many shortcomings. The super heterodyne receiver is the most popular and widely used receiver due to many of its advantages over TRF receiver. Let us discuss them one by one. Now, first of all, we will discuss tuned radio frequency receiver, TRF receiver. Till before Second World War, most of the audio receivers were of the TRF type. These receivers are simple and have high sensitivity. The block diagram of a TRF receiver is in figure. This is the figure. This receiver consists of 2 or 3 tunable RF amplifier. So these are tunable RF amplifier. all these amplifiers are tuned simultaneously to the desired signal frequency. And the AM demodulator and audio amplifier, power amplifier follow the tuned RF amplifiers. AM transmission takes place in the medium wave or short wave band. When the electromagnetic wave passing over the receiving antenna, the voltage is induced in it. This induced signal consists of signals from various transmitting antennas. The RF amplifier are tuned simultaneously to select and amplify the desired signal and reject all other signal. Tuning means we adjust the resonant frequency of the tuned circuit equal to the desired frequency. The ganged tuning means simultaneous tuning of a tuned circuit in all RF amplifier stages using gang capacitor. So we are using gang capacitor for the amplifier stage and the demodulator stage. The amplified signal is then demodulated, detected by the demodulator. The carrier signal is bypassed with the low pass filter, and only the modulating signal is recovered in this process. So here we will get the modulating signal at the output of the AM demodulator after passing it through the low pass filter. The demodulated signal is amplified to the adequate power level using the audio amplifier and power amplifier and give it to the loudspeaker for desired audio reproduction. So this is the block diagram of RF TRF receiver. Now there are some problems in TRF receivers. The overall gain of RF amplifier stages is very high, so they are unstable, and amplifiers start working acts as an oscillator. So at this instability we will get that amplifier will work as an oscillator, and there is a variation in the bandwidth over the tuning range, and due to the increased bandwidth at higher frequency, the ability of the TRF receiver to select the desired signal and reject all other signal is seriously affected, and there is a loss of sensitivity. Now we will discuss the another type of receiver. This is super heterodyne receiver. Due to the instability of TRF receiver and poor adjacent channel rejection, the TRF receivers are not used. They are replaced by the super heterodyne receiver. The problems in the TRF receiver are solved in this receiver by converting every selected RF signal to a fixed lower frequency known as intermediate frequency. This frequency contains same modulation as the original carrier. The intermediate frequency signal is then amplified and demodulated to get back the modulated signal. Now this is the block diagram of the super heterodyne receiver. Here, as an IF intermediate is lower than the lowest RF signal frequency, then the possibility of the oscillations and instability is minimized. So your amplifier will not work as an oscillator, and instability of the receiver is minimized because the IF is constant and same for all the incoming RF signal. So there is no variation in the bandwidth. So the super heterodyne receiver solves all the problems associated with the TRF receiver. The DSB full carrier AM signal transmitted by the transmitter travels through the air and reaches to the receiving antenna. So this is the AM signal full carrier, and RF tuned section is an amplifier which is used to select the unwanted signal and reject other. The RF tuned section is an amplifier which is used to select the wanted signal and reject other out of many present at the antenna. It also reduces the effect of noise at the output of the RF amplifier, we get the desired signal at frequency fs. So here you can see this is the frequency spectrum of your received signal, received AM signal, and after the RF stage we will get our signal back. And this is the local oscillator with frequency f naught, and the mixer, here we will use mixer receives the signals from the RF amplifier at frequency fs, and from the local oscillator at frequency f naught. So the mixer will mix these signals to produce signals having frequency fs, f naught, fs plus f naught, and f naught minus fs. So we will get here f naught, fs, fs minus f naught, fs plus f naught frequency. And out of these, the difference of the frequency component, that is fs minus f naught, is selected. So fs minus f naught is selected here, and this is frequency. This frequency is known as intermediate frequency IF, f naught minus fs. In order to maintain a constant difference between the local oscillator frequency and the incoming frequency, gang tune is used. So gang tuning is used here in the stage of RF mixer and local oscillator to maintain the constant difference between f naught and fs. The intermediate frequency signal is then amplified by one or more IF amplifier stage. This IF amplifiers provides most of the gain or the sensitivity and the bandwidth requirement of the receiver. So the sensitivity and selectivity of this receiver does not change much with change in the incoming frequency. So this is stable with the frequency variation. The amplified intermediate frequency signal is then modulated to recover the original modulating signal. This is then amplified and applied to the loudspeaker. Here the automatic gain control AGC controls the gain of RF IF amplifier to maintain a constant output voltage level even when the signal level at the receiver input is fluctuating. So to maintain the constant or the voltage level, we will use automatic gain control. And here you can see this is the modulated signal, baseband signal, and after amplifying, this is amplified baseband signal. This is given to the loudspeaker. Now here we can see we have different type of AM systems. You have till now studied. The systems are DSB full carrier, and here the transmitted power is PC 1 plus m square by 2, and there is no power saving because we are using two sideband and also the carrier, and bandwidth is 2 FM, and no power saving in percentage, and complexity is minimum, SNR is maximum. And another is the DSB SC carrier suppressed. If we suppress the carrier, then we will have only PC m square by 2 transmitted power, and there is saving power in, that is PC, and bandwidth is similar to the bandwidth of the full carrier, and there is saving in the power is 67% saving in the power, and complexity is less, and the SNR is low in this case. But and for the single sideband full carrier, and the power is transmitted power is PC 1 plus m square by 4, and this is half of your case of DSB full carrier, and the power saving is PC m square by 4, and the bandwidth requirement, because we are using only one sideband, the bandwidth will be FM, and saving in the power, percentage saving in the power is 16% saving in the power, and complex is less, but the SNR is high. And for SSBSC, the transmitted power is PC m square by 4, and saved power is PC 1 plus m square by 4, and the bandwidth is also similar to the SSB full carrier FM, and there is saving power saving is 83%, and the complexity is maximum and SNR is minimum in this case. And also, now the different commercial name of different modulation scheme, we should know what are the commercial name. If we are using DSB SC full carrier, the commercial name is A3E, and SSB with the reduced carrier, the commercial name is R3E, and SSB full carrier, the commercial name is H3E, and SSB SC suppressed carrier, the commercial name is J3E, and vestigial sideband VSB, the commercial name for VSB, it is C3F. So these are the commercial name we should know for the different modulation schemes. So this is the end of this lecture. Here we have discussed about vestigial sideband modulation, demodulation. Also we have discussed about AM transmitter and AM receiver. This was 12th lecture of the lecture series of Basics of Communication Engineering. In the next lecture, we will go for the next unit, second unit, and where we will discuss about the frequency modulation. Till then, thanks for listening this lecture. Thank you.